The TRP National Motocross Action is proudly brought to you by Out of Africa Group, Create, Construct, Growth, and all our associate sponsors. A big welcome to Dirt Bronco for round 4 of the TRP National Motocross Championships. The boys and girls at Dirt Broncos have been working hard to try and take away what was always deemed a one-line track. And there's been huge amounts of effort put in here to ensure that the National Championship race is going to change everybody's perceptions. And one of the biggest perceptions that have changed is Mogale City. And the mayor of Mogale City, Patrick Lupidi, has joined us to open up proceedings here today for round 4 of the championship.
I was excited because for the first time I'll be seeing the races of this kind. So we are together. Let's continue to build this particular beautiful event so that it will continue to go forward. So thank you very much.
Great to have the support of Mogale City as we get into the race action now. And it looks a little bit of a chilly start, but temperatures should rise and action's going to get hot as soon as those 50cc's get out the gates and head down into turn 1. Ethan Williamson is the man to catch. He currently holds the championship lead, and a lot of these riders will be looking at the fact that they have to ride the big track today and not on the normal mini circuit around the corner. 5-second board drops the gates and down towards turn 1. It's a fantastic start there. Williamson coming from the outside line. Can he try and get the horse shot? Doesn't look like he's done that. I think it's Christian Barrington-Smith who's at the front. Right on his tail was Jake Van Scoor, but it's Williamson who had a bit of a terrible start. Look how far back he is. Look at that yellow helmet. He's dropped right back, and riders going down in turn 1 at Bridgestone Corner as well. So a little bit of issues there as they go down. Let's see if we can pick up who they are. 24 is one of them. That is Ivana Fenter, one of our lady riders. She just got caught out there ever so slightly with a little bit of the ruts that have formed through that turn. You can see in the background there, they start to come through. Good move there from Trent Balsecki. He's moved himself up nicely. Possible top 5. But look at how the bikes are battling. Those little wheels are taking strain in those big ruts, and they're starting to get cross-rutted even into turn 1 and 2. Rider down. Oh, another rider down. This is going to be a tough one. Kaylin Oosthuizen crashing out. And I think Reinhard Vanito was the other rider that went down there with her. At the front end, it is the 141 of Christian Barrington-Smith starting to pull a little bit of a margin. Nice move there from Balsecki and Logan van Vuuren coming through as well. A lot of these riders, of course, going to be going international in a couple of days' time as they head off to the Junior World Championships. Barrington-Smith doing a great job, using this basically as his home circuit and definitely showing the rest of this field the way around. Van Scoor is slowly but surely making his way up. He's bringing along for the ride Logan van Vuuren and Keenan Strauss. Another rider down. Oh, they are really taking strain out there, these youngsters. Look at that bike. It is completely bogged down. Wheels are completely underground. That's how deep that rut is. As they start to come through there, Evan Frost being caught by Kobe Hart. There's Ethan Williamson. Long way down for him. He's got a lot of work to do. He's outside the top 10. The championship lead is going to be losing valuable points, particularly considering the fact that Van Scoor and Barrington-Smith, his closest 2 rivals, are up the road and way away from him. And they don't seem to be having any issues out there with those big ruts. Another rider goes down. Oh, it is really tough conditions out there for these youngsters. It's the 36 bike there, unfortunately, who's gone down. And Chase Becker now drops completely out of the top 10. He was just inside that top 10 and loses a lot of ground. This is a great track here for Barrington-Smith, and you can see him pulling away there from Keenan Strauss and from Jake Van Scoor. Van Scoor moving up just ahead there of Keenan Strauss. So 3:38 and 38 fighting hard for 2nd and 3rd place. There you can see it. There's 2nd and 3rd, and in the background comes the 4. It's 4:04, Logan van Vuuren. What a ride there from the fast KTM man. 110 on the tail though. Balsecki is definitely closing, and I think we may have a bit of a battle on there between van Vuuren and Balsecki. Frost, Hart, and Tilly all fighting for top 10 honours. Has Ethan Williamson been able to get into that top 10? I think he might have just done that. We'll try and get confirmation of that as we see the leaders coming through on those back markers. Aidan Retief and Luke Krull at the back there, just losing ground now to the riders as they come through thick and fast. That is 2nd and 3rd place. 4th place battle starting to heat up, and it looks like Ethan Williamson is just out of the back of that. As he comes up there, you can see there's a big battle on now. Balsecki's ahead of Van Vuuren. And look at that! The 50cc's launching that big step up at the back and clearing it. That is making big differences there between the riders who can clear that jump and can't, and how much ground they make up. Another rider down. It's the 24 again, Ivana Fenter. And Lady Rider's taking a lot of strain out there today. But needless to say, she got back up and carries on riding. Oh, you don't want to fall in front of your friend. That's going to hurt. And unfortunately, another rider going down. It's just non-stop action out there because of all the big ruts. Oh, and another rider goes down. And, oh, that is Skyler de Kock who crashes out. And Williamson goes straight into the back of him. That's not going to help Ethan Williamson out. There's no worries at all there for Christian Barrington-Smith, though. Have a look at the gap he's pulled over the rest of the field. He takes the checkered flag by a long, long margin. And he's showing the way around here at his home track. Overall victory going to Christian Barrington-Smith ahead of Jake Van Schoor. Ethan Williamson recovered in the second race to get him up to third overall on the day, with Keenan Strauss and Logan Van Vuren on his tail. This championship is going big. Barrington-Smith taking the double win, and Ethan Williamson hanging on to that lead plate. He'll be looking forward to Pietermaritzburg and the next round. This little guy will be looking forward to getting on the podium and maybe doing the same thing he's doing right now. We're heading off into MX1 territory now, and the Premier class are fired up. Kevin Moran on the second gear Kawasaki will be looking to take on Ashwell, Goosen, Milan. And watch out, as always, for Cam Woodendahl. He'll be up there too. But more importantly, is there going to be a change-up? And are we going to see a bit of a maneuver coming from the 777 and Lloyd Verquail? They're in the gates, and the 450s are about to go to battle. Let's see who's going to have what it takes now to take the first victory here today in MX1s. Lots of fans coming out. It's one of the biggest fan bases we've had all season long. And down towards turn one, is it going to be Goosen? It is! Goosen outgunning Milan into turn one, and Bridgestone Corner sees the 450s come through there thick and fast. Goosen leads out as they come over the big fly jump down that back straightaway. And as you can see right on his tail, it's Milan. Closing in is Ashwell. What a start there from him. And Tristan Purdon forces Verquail into a little bit of maneuver he didn't want to make so early on. Goosen trying to get away now. And open up a bit of a comfortable margin and hang on to that front end, but Milan goes with him. Ashwell hangs on to 3. 4 and 5 is right there as well. Right behind them comes Wes Deploy, and a nice start there from Kevin Moran as well. Sharon Moore's in the mix as well, looking to do a little bit of damage there and get a little bit of up front if he can. And using this for a bit of practice for the off-roads and endurers that he's concentrating mainly on this season. Concentration levels in the mid-pack are starting to rise big time. As Goosen hangs on, Milan is all over the back of him. And this is a great little fight between the two of them as they come out of turn number 1 now. Back down towards Bridgestone Corner. And on their tail, Ashwell hanging on for that third spot. Verquail hasn't quite got the start he wanted. The reason he's not able to make up any ground is right now he's having to fend off the big attentions coming from Tristan Purdon. Purdon on that Red Bull KTM had a fantastic third round, remember. He'll be looking to do more of the same here today. High lines coming out of Goosen. Different lines coming out of Matty Milan. Trying different variations to see if you can find a chink in the armor there at the front end. Right now, though, Goosen seems to have it all sorted out. And the one thing I got to say with Goosen riding this well is there's probably no more concern about that knee injury. He's definitely riding around that and having no issues with it right now. Let's see if he can keep it all together, because remember, this is a 25-minute moto plus 1 lap. It's a long way and a long time out there on a very bumpy circuit. Milan has a big look as they go into TRP. The second last corner, and he's got through. He's found a way past. He's got ahead of Goosen and forced Goosen into second place. And now he's going to try and open up a margin. And that's exactly what he's doing. Within half a lap, he's pulled almost 3 or 4 bike lengths there, and it looks like Jaden Ashwell could be in trouble too, because here comes Verquail. Lloydie is all over the back of him there, and it looks like he is going to be pushing hard on that Summit Racing Yamaha. The TRP man just behind him, of course, is the Red Bull KTM of TP himself, Tristan Purdon. And Purdon has now got his sights set on Ashwell as well. So we got 2 riders closing down on Ashwell. Make that 2 riders closing in on Verquail, and Verquail has got some problems. Verquail not getting the lines he wanted there, that's for sure. And you can see the lap score is going to have a busy time today to make sure that we've got everything sorted out and it lines up with pro timing. So 1, 2, and 3 at this stage is where the battle is. And I think third place is about to heat up. Yes, it is. Tristan Purdon has caught Ashwell and is looking for a way past. We've lost Verquail. Verquail has gone missing somewhere on track. I wonder if he's an issue. No, there he is. He's just in there. Just missed him on that first shot. And now he comes straight back in it. Good to see Michael Doherty back in action in South Africa. Living in Dubai now and coming back to have a bit of fun here with the boys at Dirt Broncos. He's on a 2-stroke, so it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for him. But he's got oodles of experience when it comes to motocross, so should be able to run up there in the top 5. This is fantastic action. Tristan Purdon now closed right in, looking for a block pass, finds it through the Thor up and down, and he goes down into that Thor dip and takes that third place away. Just there and out of the way was the 7 bike of Sharon Moore. He stayed right out the way. He saw the trouble coming. Doherty is starting to close and looking for a chance possibly for a top 4. Ashwell will have to be concerned. Kevin Moran at the back having a fantastic little battle, as you can see there with Cam Woodendahl. And they're starting to be closed in now by the leaders. 21 hangs on for second place. Milan out front on the Q for Fuels Husqvarna. It's the Out of Africa and Monster Energy man there in second. And look at that, some problems for Burden. Shaking that hand, he's starting to feel the effects of the bumps out there. And a little bit of arm pump starting to come through now with this very well prepped track. There's some issues here for Quayle. He's definitely not feeling things. I think he might have gone down somewhere. Looks like he's just going to roll around and try and get as many points as he can. Quayle has had an issue somewhere on track. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. But coming to the checkered flag now, the Q for Fuels Husqvarna of Matty Milan. Out of Motul, down towards TRP. The checkered flag is waiting, and Milan will take the first victory. Look at that, for Quayle waiting for him, so he doesn't have to do too many other laps. And he rolls in right behind his arch rival there in the championship. That is going to change things up dramatically. Milan in first, ahead of David Goosen, with Tristan Purden on the Red Bull KTM in third. Michael Doherty came through for fourth, beating out Ashwell Deploy, Kevin Moran, and Cam Woodendahl. With Matty Milan climbing on the top step for race number 1. Join us after the break for more action from Dirt Broncos and round 4 of the TRP National Motocross Championships. Great to see a big crowd out at motocross, particularly here in Mogale City. And lots of support there coming from the city as well as the locals. And they've all come out to see exceptional action. And it always is good, particularly in the 85cc's and Pro Minis. Lining up now, a big championship rivalry at the front end between the Swaziland boys, but never ever take out of account Nate McClellan, Boren Totoy and Hayden Tully. The front end of the junior category, Timo Topfer was very fast in practice, but we all know how good Emmanuel Bucko is. And can he fend off and possibly take on the championship leader, Seth Young, as they head down towards Bridgestone Corner? Good start here from everybody, trying to stay upright, trying to stay out of trouble. Not easy to do with a big pack of riders. And you can see just how difficult it is as they come through there. Everybody getting it right. All problems though, it's Bucko. Bucko's one of the riders gone down, and I think it's Seth Young, the second rider who crashes out. Out front though, it's Blake Young taking it to everybody, with Leonard Atoy closing in on him. Nate McClellan with a good start, and in the mid-pack, it looks like it might be James Thompson leading things out on the 5-7 there for what is the 85cc juniors. That is the championship leader who crashed out at turn 1 with his arch rival, Emmanuel Bucko. So they're going to be right at the back of the field. There's going to be a lot of work being done by those two to try and ensure that they get to the front end again by the end of this one. Young hangs on. The toy is closing him down. Look out for a good start coming out of Fenter too. Lucas Fenter's right up there on the CRT Husqvarna, and so is Boren Totoy. Hayden Tully and Dylan Kirk. Dylan Kirk, not quite the start he wanted, but he's certainly going to be pushing hard to get up there with his countrymen as they come flying through there, and these little 85cc Pro Minis putting on a fantastic show. What a ride around the outside. Sure, that's a magic line. Can he hang on to it though? And we can see a big maneuver coming from Leonard Totoy trying to close down there as they go into the Thor dip. Very difficult little section. They drop down out of the way and then over a little step up. Coming out of that one now, Totoy is up into second place. Fenter's dropped back to third. In the background, look out for his Boren Totoy in there too. So Leonard and Boren fighting hard for the front end of this race. And we've got Nate McClellan coming through the field too. That's Timo Topfer in second place. Deegan Bloomfield on the Ridgeway Race Bar bike there in third place for 85cc juniors. They cannot find James Thompson, neither can we, because he's so far up. It's kind of what Manuel Bucko did in Bloemfontein. He kind of ran in the mid-pack and top 10-ish of the Pro Minis. So he's going to be a difficult man to try and find out there, but he's definitely leading in that junior category. Totoy trying to close down now on Young. Young hanging on. Can he keep it all together now? It's not going to be easy, that's for sure. There you go, there's the leader. We've just spotted him. Nice run from James Thompson. Big turnaround from James Thompson. Didn't quite expect that though. Change up for the lead. Totoy has got through on Young. Young moves to second place now. Hangs onto the back end of Leonard Totoy. Let's see if he can keep it all together. Nate McClellan starting to make his way to the front end too. And bringing along for the ride, Hayden Tully and Dylan Kirk. Oh, and a big down. That's huge. 243 crashing to the sideline. Diane Manuel, all the way from Zimbabwe, making a big mistake on the sideline. He picks the bike up, will get going as quickly as he can, but unfortunately the Husqvarna is now stuck on the sideline. Tyler Tarantino trying to make his way through as well, looking for a top 10 if he can. Big improvements coming out of Tyler. Massive improvements out of Leonard Totoy, as you can see, as he leads things out now at what would be his home circuit. It looks like Blake Young hasn't got an answer. He's hanging on for second, but he can't bridge that gap. Fenter now down in third. No, oh, yeah, just coming up on a back marker. Still hanging on for third place, but under attack from Boren Totoy, Tully and Kirk. They're all coming to try and close him down. Mid-pack battle starting to rage there as well, as you can see, as Bryce Peterson and Garrick Henley go at it. Nice little run from them. There's James Thompson again, still leading by a large margin in the 85cc juniors. That's Timo Topfer in second, and I think just behind him, that's Bloomfield. Yes, Deegan Bloomfield there, just behind Timo. Emmanuel Bucko has recovered nicely, but he's still out of the top 6 overall in that 85cc junior category. Rider down is the 5'5", that's Dylan Kirk. That's the second of the Swazi boys crashing out. Kirk will be kicking himself, making a mistake like that. Oh, and speaking of that, kicking the bike and kicking himself right off the bike is the leader. That's Toy. Leonard Toy with a massive moment through the whoop section. He's got back up again. Can he get the bike started, and will he lose only first place? We've got a new first place man, that's Blake Young. How far back is second? I think he's far enough back not to affect Leonard Toy if he gets up and riding as the checkered flag is about to come out. It's Blake Young to take the victory. Toy was very lucky that the riders behind him were a long way back and he could hang on for second place. What a championship. 85cc Pro Minis, there's Toy coming across the line. He has been able to hang on to that second place. And in the 85cc Juniors, it's a great ride from James Thompson. Large margin there for Thompson in the end, but look at that, Toy taking the overall victory in the Pro Minis ahead of Blake Young, Dylan Kirk and Hayden Tully, with James Thompson beating out Emmanuel Bucko, Timo Topfer and Deegan Bloomfield in the 85cc Juniors. Overall victory going to Leonard Toy. He's very stoked with that and looking forward to getting down to Maritzburg. Join us after the break for more action. Welcome back to round 4 action here at Dirt Broncos of the TRP National Motocross Championships. And look at that gate. MX3s and ladies combined. It is a massive field of riders about to go to battle here on a track that has been prepped to perfection. Looking forward to seeing whether we can see Kayla Roth possibly go an incredible 8 out of 8 wins. Has anybody got anything to match her? Unfortunately, her closest rival is not here, and Leah Haygate is on the sidelines injured. At the front end of NX3 though, there's a big battle expected. Watch out for the possibilities of Tyson Engelbrecht, a returning Dwayne Kleinons, and all-conquering Ian Topless. Topless will have his work cut out for him because the red plate is not on his bike at the moment. It's on the number 30 bike of Brett Bircher. And as they drop out of the gates, it's Bircher who gets a fantastic start, coming wide and high and trying to get through there for the whole shot. The rest of the pack comes streaming through there, all trying to avoid any first lap and first corner incidents down in Bridgestone. Looks like they've all stayed upright. They have. 114 is Dwayne Kleinans. Didn't expect that. Right on his tail. Here comes a big charge. Topless and Bircher side by side. It was an awesome start from Tyson Engelbrecht as well. And a rider looks like going onto the inside line there, trying to avoid the very choppy conditions at the top of the track. 76 is, of course, the high-flying Topless, and that out of Africa, Monster Energy Yamaha is really starting to tick them off one by one. He's got to get in amongst some of the slightly younger competitors, and one of them is Dwayne Kleinans. The other one is the 1-2 of Tyson Engelbrecht. Oh, here comes Topless, trying to thread the needle between those two riders. He's got his work cut out for him. He has got Jaco Smit and Jonathan Hubbard up there. Bircher just behind him, trying to consolidate, considering the fact that there are 2 categories out there, 30 pluses and 40 pluses. In fact, there are 2 50 plus riders here today as well in MX3s, the veteran category for our national championships. Further back in the field, looking for our lady riders. You can see how difficult it is to spot them out there. Jaco Smit is going well though. Smit is up to a possible 3rd place overall on track, trying to close down on Engelbrecht. Tyson Engelbrecht fighting hard at the front end with Dwayne Kleinans. Oh, bit of sideways action there. That's not the line you want to be hitting, that's for sure. Quite sure it was 51 there, I think that was. Yeah, Quinton Foster leading the 50 plus category, just making a small mistake coming out of one of the sections. Topless making no mistakes, trying to stay ahead of Bircher. Bircher staying right there with Topless, realizing that the red plate could stay his if he can just keep him behind him. There's our leading lady, Kayla Roth, yet again out front for Summit Racing, and no worries at all for her so far in terms of competition. Closest to her today has been Natasha Regani, and Regani just not able to match there, as you can see, in the pack and trying to find a way past some of the slower MX3 riders. 114 out front. Dwayne Kleinans trying to control things at the front end. Can he keep it all together for the next couple of laps? Behind him, they're starting to close in. One rider is Engelbrecht. The other one is Topless. And those two are looking very dangerous at this point. Hubbard having some fun and games of his own. And a little bit of maneuvering happening in the background there with Sheldon Watkins and Warwick Peters fighting hard too. Behind them, look out for Johnny Nell. Getting in amongst some of the back markers in the lady category there. Jadine De Lima hanging on. Just behind her, looks like that's Tegan Reid for D-Force Racing. Yes, it is. And then you've got Shane DeLima in there too. Savannah Van Vuren coming through nicely. Big improvements coming out there. Change up possibly for the lead here. Yes, Engelbrecht going through. Kleinans down to second. Behind them comes Topless. Bircher down in about 4 or 5. I think he's about 5th place at this point. So Bircher's got some work to do. No worries at all for Roth. Hangs on comfortably at the front end. 2nd place, our second lady rider there is Natasha Regani, and Megan Jonker hanging on to 3rd. There goes Regani. Into the Thor dip. Rider down. Oh, that's a big one. Fortunately, a big crash out there. I think that might be Bianca Prout-Jones, who may have gone down there. So there is Tegan Reid for D-Force Racing. Looking for a top 5 overall here, possibly. Similar to what she did in Bloemfontein. Topless closing in. He's got through up to 2nd. He's ahead of Kleinans. Kleinans now with some work to do. Can he come back at Topless? Roth hanging on, waiting for that checkered flag. Can't be too far away right now. MX3s and ladies combined. It's a big field. The checkered flag coming out for your race winner, Tyson Engelbrecht. 2nd place, only just, comes through there. And it is Topless who beats Dwayne Kleinans to the line. Overall victories in the 30 plus goes to Dwayne Kleinans, ahead of Tyson Engelbrecht and Hubbard, with Smith down in 4th place. Topless taking the win in the 40 pluses, ahead of Bircher, Kruger and Philip De Santos.
Decided to come do a motocross, represent the sponsors, and yeah, I'm happy with my performance. Put on a good show, I enjoyed it. Man, it's really fun out here.
Overall for Ian Topless at the top end with Dwayne Kleinans and Tyson Engelbrecht. Let's catch up with Topless.
Yes, yeah, I enjoy Broncos. Nice and rough, hard pack, a little bit of loam, so it's lekker. But I just want to thank Out of Africa and Yamaha and Monster for the opportunity to ride again. Lekker to be riding at my age and having a jaw, loving it.
Another 2 out of 2 for Kayla Roth has given her the perfect season so far. Megan Jonker in 2nd place overall, with Natasha Regani finishing in 3rd ahead of Janka Pieterse and Tegan Reid. Bowling, DeLima and Pieterse making up the top 8 as they head onto the podium now and get all that vital money. Let's catch up with 2nd and 3rd place.
This track is very tight, so it's quite hard to pass on this track. So the racing I found today was very close, very exciting. And it was nice to have our own race for once, not just by ourselves.
Megan, did you enjoy yourself today?
Thanks a lot. It's very nice being back after 3 injuries and to have a good battle with Natasha. Normally we all spread out quite far, so it's nice to have a good battle on a rough track.
Coming back to the final heat now of MX1s, and Lloyd Verquel with a big crash. We're not quite sure he's done there. The big crash might have affected his ability to extend that peak. But those extensions on the peak means it's late in the afternoon, and as we head towards turn 1, the sun is going to be a big problem here, and visibility is going to be crucial. Head down into Bridgestone, and it looks like Goosen might have got the whole shot again. And right on his tail is Milan. And Verquel in there too. Good start from Lloyd Verquel, tucking in right behind his Yamaha-mounted friend as they head up towards the top of the section. And into that top section, it's side by side between Milan and Purdon. And Purdon wins out. Milan drops down to 4th place. The Red Bull KTM man forcing Milan wide. Ashwell on the inside, trying to catch them both napping. And it looks like he might have done that. Yes, Jaden Ashwell has come through there and got past on Purdon. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. Purdon had to back out of that one ever so slightly with a little roll-off and then just kept it. Oh, he didn't keep it buried enough though, because Milan was in there waiting to pounce. So Purdon drops down to 5. Ashwell already attacking Verquel for 2nd. Jaden Ashwell has had a fantastic day in the saddle. One of the best we've seen out of him all season long. And one of the best rides I've ever seen out of him, which is great to see. Massive improvements. Ashwell going for the block pass on Verquel into Thor dip. He gets it. He gets through up into 2nd place and now goes hunting for the Out of Africa and Monster Energy Yamaha of David Goosen. Verquel and Summit Racing. Then you've got 2 for Fuels, Husqvarna, TRP and Red Bull KTM of Tristan Purdon pushing hard, but down in 5th place. Can you believe that? This is a man who went and dominated in Bloemfontein. Not quite going according to plan here today, but you can see why. Look at how the track has got shredded. It's got even bumpier than what it was earlier on, and Milan having a big moment there. The back end stepping up big time as he tried to go on the inside of Ashwell. That just cost him the line, and he couldn't make it stick. Verquel hanging on for possible 4th place, but it is this man, David Goosen, who is disappearing at the front end as these 3 go to battle. They're slowing each other down ever so slightly and allowing Goosen to get away. And I think that's why Milan is applying a bit more pressure. He realizes that Goosen is getting away and he doesn't want that. Has Milan got through there on Ashwell? Possibly. Yes, he has. And so has Verquel. It looks like Ashwell made a mistake somewhere on track, probably up at Motul, and he just got it all wrong. He tries to come back though, and he's just lost out too much ground there. Lots of support on the sideline. That's great to see. And they're shouting, particularly for this man right now. And this is a massive turnaround for the season here for Goosen. Riding for that out of Africa Monster Energy Yamaha team, and the support on the sideline was there. Justin Purden now closing in up to third place, and he gets there. Change up and gets ahead of Faquel. Faquel drops down. I wonder if that first race crash is starting to affect him. He must be feeling the effects a little bit there. Wesley Deploy, nice run from him. He's just outside the top 6. Michael Doherty starting to close in on him. You can hear the two-stroke in the background. Kevin Moran resumes the battle at the back end, and it's with Sharon Moore this time, who joins him and Cam Woodendahl at the back of the race. Awesome support on the sidelines. You can see big fists waving and people telling the riders what to do. The boards are flashing left, right, and center. We're coming to the checkered flag. Is Goosen going to be able to hang on? It certainly looks like it. The Yamaha fans are very happy about that, and I know David Goosen's going to be. A massive turnaround there for him, and it's out of Africa, Monster Energy Yamaha, who takes the second win on the day here, and that is a fantastic day in the saddle. Tristan Purden eventually hung on and took second place away from Matty Milan in the closing stages on the Q for Fuels Husqvarna, with Lloyd Faquel on Summit Racing in fourth place, Jaden Ashville beating out Doherty, Wes Deploy, and Kevin Moran. Let's catch up with our race winner, David Goosen.
Yeah, that was a nice ride today. The track was good and very technical. I preferred when it's a little bit slower and you got to ride with good lines and stuff. So Matty, Tristan were really strong today, and this track is really hard on the body. Like, it's just a fight. It's a lot of stopping and starting. And anyway, for me to be actually first podium as well this year, so podium and a win is just I'll take that any day. It's been a tough go at it this year, but I'm glad that we made some points today and still a few rounds left. So I'm going to give it everything and just try and keep building from today.
Next week, catch all the action from the 65s, 125s, and MX2s from Dirt Bronco. The TRP National Motocross Action is proudly brought to you by Out of Africa Group, Create, Construct, Growth, and all our associate sponsors.